My brother died a hero. Then I found his hidden laptop, and I can't look at him the same anymore. He died on a Wednesday. Smoke inhalation. 23 years old. Some neighbor's kid was trapped inside a house that went up in flames, and my brother ran in before the fire department even got there. He got the kid out, then collapsed. Never woke up. They said his lungs were too far gone by the time they pulled him out. My parents called him a hero. The whole town did. They put up a mural downtown, a scholarship in his name. Every year on the anniversary, local news runs a clip. My mom doesn't let anyone say a single bad word about him. Not that they would. He was perfect, right? I was 16 when he died. I remember I was in the car with him that morning. We'd been fighting for weeks, but that day he offered to drive me to school. No idea why. Maybe guilt. Maybe something else. I remember sitting there thinking, don't fall for it. He'll flip again. He didn't flip. He was quiet. Said he had stuff to do later. Told me to be good. That was the last thing he ever said to me. Everyone else cried. I felt numb. Not because I wasn't sad. I just didn't know how to mourn someone who I both loved and resented. My brother wasn't evil, but he wasn't the saint everyone made him out to be either. He used to pick fights with me just to make himself look calm. He'd break stuff, then blame it on me. Subtle things. Psychological things. Stuff that made me question myself. But after he died, I shut my mouth. Everyone else was grieving a hero. I wasn't about to be the one who said, actually, he used to gaslight me for fun. I moved out at 18. I didn't take much with me, but one thing I did take was his old laptop. My parents were going to toss it. Said it was too painful to look at. It had survived the fire because it was at his apartment, not in his car or at the scene. I didn't even plan on looking at it. I just couldn't let them throw it away. I kept it in a box for 6 years. Never touched it until 3 weeks ago. I don't know why I opened it. Curiosity? Boredom? I was between jobs, cleaning out my closet, saw the box, figured, why not? The charger still worked. It booted right up. Same background, same folders, same password. His old dog's name. Pathetic. At first it was nothing, just music, old memes, photos, him smiling with friends I'd never met, him holding a red Solo cup, shirtless, grinning. Then I found a folder labeled G, just a single letter. I clicked it. Inside were screenshots. Hundreds, maybe thousands. At first I didn't get it. Screenshots of texts, emails, social media DMs. Some of them were mine. That's when my stomach turned. There were texts between me and my first boyfriend, things we only said privately. DMS I'd sent to girls from school when I was 17. Stuff I barely remembered writing. There were even screen recordings of calls. One was a FaceTime call I had with a friend where I was venting about my brother. He'd screen recorded it, saved it, named the file with the date and time. The timestamps made it worse. He'd been saving this stuff for over a year before he died. I checked other folders. Same thing. Screenshots of mutual friends, girls he'd dated, his ex, her mom, her sister, his coworker. It was like he'd built an archive, digital dirt on everyone in his life, every person he was close to, including me. I sat there for hours going through it all. It wasn't just passive collecting. He'd edited things too, faked screenshots to make people look bad, labeled some files with things like insurance or future leverage. There were even photos of me in my room, selfies I never posted or that I'd deleted. Somehow, he had them. I didn't know whether to throw up or scream. I couldn't tell anyone. Who would believe me? My mom would probably slap me just for suggesting it. She still sleeps in a hoodie of his. My dad won't even talk about him, just clinks glasses on the anniversary and stares into nothing. So I backed everything up, made copies, external drive, cloud folder, multiple passwords, and now I sit with the truth, trying to figure out what to do with it. My brother's not the man they think he is, and I'm the only one who knows. The hardest part wasn't what I found. It was knowing that I couldn't unknow it, that everything I'd grown up believing, about him, about myself, about our family, was built on something rotten. He wasn't just a brother who had flaws. He was intentional. He watched people, tracked them, saved things he should have never had access to, and he died before any of it came out, so now I'm the one stuck holding the rot. I didn't sleep for 2 nights after opening that laptop. I kept replaying every fight we'd had when we were younger. Every time I thought I was crazy for feeling like he was playing a game I couldn't name. It all made sense now. He was collecting control, quietly, strategically, like it was fun for him. I started going through the files like it was my job. I cataloged everything, color-coded folders, who he tracked, what he saved, when, why it mattered. At first it felt obsessive, then it felt necessary, because the longer I looked, the more I realized it wasn't just about me. This wasn't some private collection of dirt. This was curated, organized, intentional. I found a Word document titled Options, just that, one word. Inside was a list of names. Beside each name, a bullet point summary, weaknesses, leverage, secrets. Some of it was stuff I knew. Some of it was unthinkable. Old family friends, neighbors, his ex-girlfriends. One entry read, Julia, mom, needs to feel proud. Never tell her I quit pre-med. Let her grieve a version of me that makes sense. Another said, Dad, avoid emotional conflict. Hide the drinking. Hide the second job. He'd been building a persona. Even the hero thing on the running into the burning house. Now I question that too. Was it instinct? Or was it planned? Was he trying to cement an image? Or was it just a fluke that worked in his favor? And if I said any of this out loud, I'd be crucified. I thought about going to his ex. She was in a few of the worst files: private photos, stolen texts, a whole folder of manipulated screenshots that could have ruined her. But I couldn't even figure out how he got half of it. I didn't know if he'd hacked her, if she'd trusted him with it and he turned on her, or something else entirely. The worst part is I didn't even feel shocked anymore. Just disgusted and somehow familiar with it. Like on some level, I always knew he was like this and just didn't let myself say it. And now that I could, no one else could hear me. My parents came over for dinner that Sunday. I couldn't stop staring at them. My mom brought a new picture from my fridge. Him at a swim meet, age 19, gold medal, fake smile. She kissed the frame before sticking it up. I asked her if she ever thought maybe he wasn't as perfect as everyone said. She froze, not in an angry way, in that tight, fragile way people do when they know you're about to ruin their version of things. She said, "Don't do this." And I said nothing else for the rest of the night. After they left, I opened the insurance folder. That's what he labeled it. Inside were files he could have used to blackmail people if he wanted to. I found a video of his friend, the one who gave his eulogy, crying in a car, admitting he'd cheated on his wife. There were emails between our aunt and someone who wasn't her husband, a PDF of a psychiatric evaluation that belonged to someone in our church. I don't even want to know how he got that. He wasn't just watching people. He was archiving their worst moments, sitting on them, waiting. I couldn't delete it. I couldn't even look away. I just sat there, night after night, making notes, timelines, trying to map out what he was doing. Like, maybe if I understood it, I could control it. Stop it from spreading. Because here's the thing, he had files on me too, and they were accurate. I read things I'd forgotten I'd said, things I swore I never told anyone. He knew I shoplifted when I was 14. He knew I lied about my first boyfriend. He knew I used to fake being sick to get out of school. There was even a voice memo where I confessed, to no one in particular, that I once wished he'd move out and never come back. He must have recorded that through the wall. I remembered the night. I was crying, whispering into my pillow. I didn't even think anyone could hear me. He could, and he saved it. And now I had all of it, sitting on my desk, clicking louder than any sound I'd ever heard. I tried to call my cousin, someone outside the family, to talk. Halfway through dialing, I stopped. If I told anyone, they'd ask why I waited, why I kept it, why I didn't say something sooner. So instead, I made a copy of everything and mailed it to a P.O. box I opened in a different name. Backup of the backup. And I started planning. Not revenge, not exposure, just correction. Because my family worships a statue. They mourn a man who didn't exist, and I'm the only one who's seen the cracks. I'm not going to destroy their illusion, but I'm not going to let it control me either. So I'm going to do one thing. One small thing. Something he would have hated. And when I do it, I won't ask permission. I won't say why. I'll just watch the mural crack a little and keep walking. I waited 6 weeks. I didn't even know what I was waiting for. Maybe to feel less angry, maybe to feel sure I wasn't doing it out of spite. But the anger didn't go away. It just calcified, turned into something quieter, cleaner. I stopped flinching every time I opened the laptop. I stopped crying when I saw his photo. I stopped needing to explain him to myself. He was what he was, the kind of person who gets turned into a saint because he died young and loud. But I wasn't going to carry that for the rest of my life. That wasn't grief anymore, that was theater. The decision came while I was sitting in the garage staring at his old duffel bag. It still smelled like his cologne. Still had a half-used stick of deodorant and that same cracked phone charger he never replaced. I stood up, went back inside, pulled out a thumb drive, and copied exactly 6 files. Not the worst ones. Not the ones that could destroy people. Just the ones that showed what he was really like when nobody was looking. The planning, the lies, the manipulations, just enough to tip the balance. Then I printed a photo of him. Not the glossy framed one on my mom's fridge. This one was grainy, taken by accident, where he was mid-sentence, annoyed, probably telling me to shut up. Real. I put it in an envelope with the drive and the note. No signature, no explanation, just the words, "You don't have to keep pretending." And I mailed it to his best friend, the one who gave that speech at the funeral, the one who said my brother was the most honest person he ever met, the one whose breakdown video I could have included, but didn't, because this wasn't about revenge. This was about equilibrium. I wanted one person to know, just one person who mattered to him. Let that person carry the truth quietly. Let them either bury it or face it. I didn't care what happened next. And then I did the second thing. I went to the mural. They painted it downtown. Him in uniform, that heroic still from the news footage, mid-run toward the fire. Flowers at the bottom, a quote that wasn't even his. Bravery is the choice to act in fear. I stood in front of it for a long time. People passed by. Some smiled at me. One woman even told me her son wanted to be just like him. I nodded. I didn't correct her. Then I pulled out the spray paint from my bag. Not red, not black, just white, clean, silent. And I wrote one word across the corner. Small. Barely visible unless you were looking for it. Watch. That was it. No message, no accusation, no name. because that's what he did. Watched people, dissected them, measured their movements, and stored them like trophies. And now he'd be the one watched. Silently, indefinitely. Every person who saw that word would wonder who wrote it and why and what it meant. They'd start to notice how polished the image was, how clean, how too perfect. And maybe eventually someone would ask what he was really like, and someone else would answer honestly. Or not. I don't need the fallout. I don't want the truth weaponized. I just wanted the illusion cracked. I went home and deleted everything. Wiped the drive, shredded the notebooks, burned the laptop in a fire pit outside the city. No drama, no photos, no proof, just ash. My parents still call him their hero. They'll die thinking that. But I don't flinch anymore when they do, because I know the truth, and for once I'm not the one carrying the lie. That's someone else's job now.